Although speaking of old news, I watched the horror movie 1408.
What's that one?
John Cusack. It came out.
Oh, is this one based on Stephen King?
Yeah.
Stephen King film adaptations don't generally have a good good track record.
Amazing film. I was going to say, I thought it was awful. Absolutely terrible. Every single step of the way, I could not stand it.
Okay. Genuine terror. They look so young. Especially after I watched them both in another Stephen King adaptation, The Cell, last year, which was just the worst film I've seen in years.
The Cell?
It's about phones.
Oh,
Everyone's looking at their phones. They've turned into zombies.
Right,
so everyone who was on their phone literally gets turned into a zombie. But it's got both these actors in.
Wow. Yeah. I watched this the other day, and I hated it.
Ow. How many IMDb stars do you give it?
Oh, God, like, low. Really low. Any, like, horror movie that has a score like this, you know is going to be shit. Because a genuine good horror movie, a lot of people that watch it are like, I don't like horror movies, therefore I'm going to downvote it. And so you need that sweet spot of about 5 is generally what I think of actually as like a peak horror film.
Draw me a graph.
Okay, right. Here, look, it's basically...
Actually, can you make it all black and draw the graph in white?
Yeah. We'll do night mode.
Night mode graph, please.
So it's just kind of like probably like a bell curve, where,
You're even going to make like a 10 bad?
Okay, but I'm talking about for it to be a good horror movie, and also this there's actually like an imaginary, probably like a secret one,
an extra double dip,
a secret extra dip that normally I think for like indie horror films.
Yeah.
About a 5. Like, you can go just under. Actually, maybe it should like taper down a little bit more. But around a 5, it'll have some really good ideas. Will be kind of a bit spooky, but your mainstream audience is going to hate it.
Right.
And so it will never get great numbers. If you start going too low, the moment that you move into like the 3 territory.
Oh yeah, because this is just like actual no film craft making skill at all.
Like, it's just badly shot, terrible audio, is mechanically a terrible film.
Yeah.
But the moment you start getting into like 7, that is when it's like...
Is it not really horror anymore?
It's,
was it just too mainstream?
Yeah, it's like it'll be a 12 movie that had a box office release that did pretty good, and it'll be...
Well, like a Halloween sequel or something.
I think even those probably would score lower. I think something like 1408 is a perfect example of that kind of movie. Or like, what was that? The Haunting. Was that the one that had Jennifer Lopez in? Which was like a real like mainstream.
Do you mean Jennifer Lawrence?
No, Jennifer Lopez.
Okay, I don't remember a Jennifer Lopez.
It's about the sort of era when you had Ghost Ship and the mid-2000s, when you had the big cinema Hollywood movie.
Like a Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah. Exactly. That kind of vibe.
Anything with LL Cool J in it.
Or Ice Cube. Where did I put Evil Dead? Evil Dead's great. Evil Dead's real good. Right, Hereditary. I really like Hereditary. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Deep Blue Sea is a straight 10. But also, I do have a soft spot for a lot of those movies. And this is my general rule of thumb of looking at horror films.
Yeah.
I think you start living by this going for the 5-star ones.
Are you saying like 4.5 to 5.5 kind of range?
I think is a really good, really good angle. It mainly is applying to sort of like indie stuff, but I think it's a really good.
Okay.
Where does
interesting theory?
Deep Blue
Sea.
Sea.
This is like an old cult classic, right? So it's probably going to have a higher rating. Oh, bam!
5.9.
It's sort of in the zone, isn't it?
See, we're getting closer to.
What about the Meg, which is like the modern version?
Oh, the Meg. The Meg was bad. Not Meg Ryan.
I never saw it.
I watched it.
But my wife really enjoyed it.
I've
She
watched
loves
6.
shitty horror films, and she was like, "It's everything I wanted it to be.
It,
Fucking terrible."
it's really goofy. When they go to the Mariana, spoilers, they go to the Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
But it turns out there's actually an ocean beneath the ocean. And that's where the Megs live. What? So bad. Yeah.
What's some other horror classics?
Some other, like, hot.
What's like a good horror film from the last, like, 5-10 years?
Midsummer.
Oh, that was critically acclaimed, though. That'll have, like, a high rating for sure.
See, it only hit 7.1, though.
Oh, wow. God, I thought that was going to be like a 9.
No, like, horror movies generally don't ever get super good scores.
Right.
But that was great. The Witch. Cabin in the Woods. I don't really count Cabin in the Woods as a horror movie.
But no, it's more of a spoof, isn't it?
The Descent. The Descent is one of my favorite horror films ever made. 7.2.
Oh dear, that's not in the zone.
But that's genuinely like an
It's
upsetting,
really good.
upsetting movie to
It's
watch
hard
for
to
me.
watch. Like, have you got like a caving phobia,
Yeah. Oh my god. Holy shit. The idea of
being trapped underground?
like, I don't see why people would do that. Like, I see footage of people like doing that like extreme potholing.
Where they can barely squeeze through these
Yeah,
cracks
and they
shit.
have to fully breathe out.
Decompress
to be
their
able
chest
to
to squeeze.
fit through. And if you start panicking, because like more blood, like that can cause your body to expand, and then you panic more, and you
And
go.
then
into
you're
this
trapped
death
forever.
loop. Oh my god, the idea of that, absolutely terrifying. And so they
Yeah.
combine that with spooky ghouls
Yeah,
and
just golems down there.
just
Killer golems.
amazing, like genuinely.
Well, that's it. This film was
scary.
scary before the Monsters show
Yeah,
turned up.
yeah. If it could have just been a movie about caving where people kind of get trapped, I would have had a horrible time. I think if there weren't the ghosts or the spooky monsters, I don't think I would have watched this film. If it was just about a miserable caving experience, I'd just be like, yeah, it's probably going to be fucking
Yeah.
horrible, and I don't think I could get into it.
It feels like that James Franco film where he's trapped on a mountain.
127 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that. But yeah, that was great. Really liked it. What's your favorite horror film?
I'm not a big horror film guy. I mean, I only watch the ones that that my wife's too scared to watch on her own, and I don't think I've loved any of them. I mean, The Descent is up there. It's definitely one of my top 5 horror films for sure because I actually enjoyed it, and I usually don't. Any recommendations from chat? I can't think of anything.
Have you seen Event Horizon? Event Horizon's great.
I like the concept of Event Horizon. I don't actually enjoy the film. Like, it's kind of stupid.
Oh yeah.
And it could have been, if it had been a bit more like Hellraiser-y, and they'd like made it darker. I think it needs to be darker, but you've got like comic relief characters jetpacking
Oh
in.
fuck yeah!
And
like
it really undercuts
tonally,
the
it
tone.
kind of goes a bit messy. What do you think of the theory that it's a 40K film? That it's the
Sure.
first example of them.
Going into the warp. But I mean, if it is, then it's 20,000 years before, isn't it? Because it's set in the year like 2021 or whatever.
Yeah.
So sure. I mean, it can be in the 40K universe because there's 20,000 years between that film and the actual
right
setting.
now we could be in the 40K universe.
Yeah, exactly.
If you follow that logic.
The Thing's a classic
That's a classic.
for sure.
That's great.